listening to Shut Up and Invest.
All right. What's up, Shut Up and Invest fam? Again, we got another episode at the Live Wire Conference. We've been talking to the hustlers, everybody in the female industry making moves. And on this episode is no different. J Money, you ready for this?
I am ready, man. We got another powerhouse woman to come on and tell us how they're out there crushing it. So,
Miss Risha, how you
straight
doing?
from Arizona
yourself.
all the way to Miami. I was in Arizona 2 weeks ago. We just crisscrossed.
Yes, we did.
Introduce yourself, where you're at,
Sure.
kind of what you're doing.
Sure. I am Recia Davis. I am from Phoenix. I've been in Phoenix for 15 years or so. I've been investing in real estate with my husband, who is my partner in everything. We've been investing for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Started off as landlords. Then I had to quit my job because I just hated my job. And got into wholesaling, flipping. We're now doing tax liens and tax deed investing. And one of our most recent aha moments was that we are experts in using the CRM that we use. And so we build it out for other investors that are getting started.
Okay.
And so that way, you don't have to learn how to use all these tools and learn how to
they
invest.
can be scary. CRMs can be scary. So what are you guys using for your CRM?
REI Black Book.
Okay.
So-
We've actually been looking at two CRMs the last 2 weeks. It was REI Black Book and Investor Pole.
Oh my
And
gosh.
somebody came on earlier who told us about Investor Pole.
Yeah.
So now you're doing REI Black Book.
REI Black Book all day. All day. We've been using it since 2011. I will not use REI Black Book, whether it's real estate or any small business or even personal life, we use it.
So kind of expound what makes it so good for you.
Okay.
Let's talk about, for the people out there listening, what is a CRM? Why should you use a CRM? And then get into why REI Black Book is the one that you picked and how you're using it.
Sure. So a CRM is a customer relationship manager. Mm-hmm. You put all your customers in it, and then that way you can keep notes, you can keep conversations going, you really manage all your contacts. And your contacts when you're investing in real estate are going to be your leads. They're also going to be your buyers, your private lenders, your tenants,
vendors, GCs,
everybody. Everybody, it goes in there. And then you can segment them based on what type of lead they are. What's amazing about REI Black Book is that it's a full marketing and automation software. It's not just a CRM. The CRM is this small little piece that's really powerful, but it does all your marketing. We do tons of ringless voicemail. Ringless voicemail is our jam. That is our thing. And so you can do your ringless voicemail through it. You can do all these dynamic workflows at the end. So it can do so much for you that's automated that it allows me to have my life and take care of my babies.
The CRM actually is going to automate all that stuff for you. So you're dropping RVMs to the CRM.
Yep.
And you're having a schedule
Yep.
when they come out. Okay.
And so they go out. And so then a seller calls back in. And we have our calls routed to an answering service. And then it tags that person. It puts in their name.
So any seller who calls, the answering service answers the phone and takes information and gives it to you. You guys call back.
Yep. Okay. And we actually call back with the offer. So we evaluate the property and all that first.
Got it.
We have a superstar on our team that does all our property evaluations and all that. And so he automatically gets notified, hey, we have a new lead. You need to go evaluate this, call them back, et cetera.
REI Black Book, does it come, let's say a new investor like me wants to see how to use it. Does it come with the automations already there? Or you have to build it out? You have to build it out.
You have to build it out.
Okay.
There's a lot of content that's in REI Black Book. You have content if you want to create a landing page. It has some templates in there for different types of investing.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the automations go, because those are so individual based on businesses, there's not really a way to say, here's your template.
Mm-hmm.
So what my husband and I have figured out is we are awesome at saying, what do you need? How do you like your flows to go? And we know what questions to ask so that we can take that, translate it, build it, and put the automation in place.
Got it.
And then that way you don't have to learn how to build. You don't have to learn how to build.
So you guys have a service right now that you're offering where you actually will build out other investors' CRM for them.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about your life before a CRM when you were doing this business.
Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. So we joke about this all the time because I am a big picture thinker. My husband is very detail oriented. He likes things clean cut, organized, all the details. And I quit my job first and I just went out on a limb and I was just like, I'm going for it.
What'd you do before?
I was in clinical research.
Okay.
And so I just followed my mentor. I did what he said. I did my marketing. And when deals would come in, I would handle them. But all I was doing
So you left that to do wholesaling? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so all I was doing was just writing all my information on notes and like sticky notes and pieces of paper. I wasn't even that complicated. No, it was like all over. And so our house was a disaster with all this paper everywhere. And then there would be so many times when somebody would call me and I would be in the car and I'd have to be like, all right, hold on. And I'd pause and I'd have to call my husband and say, hey, can you go upstairs, look on my desk, under the coffee cup, turn the Post-it note over. Those are the notes that I
the
need right
pink
now.
one, the yellow one.
Like, you know where it was at, but no.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was all the time. And to the point where he's like, you know what? I have a full-time job, and I am not here to do this for you.
He was your little secretary for a little bit.
Pretty much.
That's actually, you know what? Like, the way I look at my CRM is an extension of that admin, sales, and marketing person. I can hire someone to run around with 1,000 papers and all this information in their head and in their notebooks, or you can actually have an automated system behind it. Yeah.
Right. And all the stuff is doing what it's supposed to do because it's not human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I kind of want to go a little bit deeper into this, especially for people who don't use it. When they hear, the ringless voicemail and the drip campaigns and this, what it actually truly means is you have two choices. Someone calls in from what type of marketing are you bringing in the inbound usually?
Ringless voicemails.
Ringless voicemails. Okay, so you leave a voicemail inside 500 people's voicemails. Mm-hmm. Let's say 50 of them call back over the next 48 hours. Mm-hmm. You have two choices. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can take all 50 calls yourself and then decide how many times you're going to follow up, picking up your cell phone and calling them yourself, writing them a handwritten email, typing your email yourself, texting yourself, calling yourself and leaving another voicemail for the next 6 months. Right. Or you can have a system that does everything for you.
Right.
That you can actually be at the pool or go pick up your kid or take a vacation. And these 50 people that came in over the last 48 hours are going to be touched over a period of, how long do you usually build out your campaigns?
2 years.
So for the next 2 years, those 50 people that called back that voicemail that you dropped are going to get some type of touch.
Yep. Exactly right. And you know what's even more important about what you said. So, yes, you can be at the pool. Yes, you can be living your life. You can be doing the things that you want to do. Mm-hmm. But really, it's taking yourself out of it because you are not going to do it. There are going to be days when you don't want to call them back. You have to push yourself out of your comfort zone all the time in this business in order to succeed, in any business to succeed, right? But if you are not going to do what you're supposed to do and what you promised yourself you're going to do, and you said, okay, I'm going to call them back. Okay. And you don't. Every time you don't call somebody back, you are breaking promise to yourself after promise to yourself after promise to yourself. And what's going to happen is you're going to just start beating yourself up in your mind and you're going to quit on yourself. That's what's going to happen is you are going to quit on yourself. And so if you can hire that out, and say, you know what, I'm not going to do the cold calls because I really don't want to. Even if it's returning the call, that call is scary. You have to pick up that phone and dial that number. And pushing send is the scariest moment. And it's like, it is.
So many people hesitate and let a deal go by just because they talk themselves out of picking up that call. And by the time they do, game over.
Right. So have somebody else do it. Automate. Delegate as much as you possibly can.
Yeah. Even a shy person can take a system like the one you're building out and essentially record a voicemail, put it into the system. That's going to go into 500 people's voicemails so they didn't have to physically do it, right? So they could still be shy.
Yep.
The text message that they programmed or that you helped program for them will go out X amount of times over the next 2 years, so they can still be shy.
Right.
The email will go out over the next 2 years. You can still be shy. There's the only time it comes down to is when the people actually say, hey, yes, I want you to buy my house, that then you actually need to jump in and show up.
You know, with the software that we build out and the system that we build out, whatever software you're going to use, but in REI Blackbook, the way we do it, a ringless voicemail, we drop a ringless voicemail. Sellers call in. It goes to the answering service. After it goes to the answering service, it goes through the lead process. They fill out the lead form, and then our VA handles it.
The service company does. Yeah.
And then, so you can have the service company weed everybody out to say, hey, you know, these are the ones that want to sell. And then we have a VA or an assistant that looks at all the leads and finds out which ones are the most motivated. And we have questions in there to lift those to the top of his list to say these are the most motivated. And then he gives the offers. He gets them under contract. And then that's when it comes to me and our sales leg. And our sales leg is actually the one that goes on the appointments.
Your VAs are getting these under contract signed before you're going to go see the property.
Always.
And then you renegotiate if you need to renegotiate.
Absolutely.
Your salesperson is trained to go out there, inspect the properry, and renegotiate.
So you guys are making offers based off the information you have and the comps and all that stuff before you actually go see it.
Yes.
So let's talk about your company. What kind of team do you have?
4 people.
Okay. And what do they do?
And so we have our assistant who does like everything.
Their admin.
Yeah, he does like everything, but he's the one that makes it. He makes the offers.
Okay.
He puts the contracts together. He schedules appointments. He builds.
So this is not a VA.
It is a VA.
It is a VA. Okay. All right.
Yep. And then my husband and me, that are the ones that are going to evaluate what we want to do with the property. If we want to hold it ourselves, flip it ourselves, or wholesale it, or don't want it.
This is in the Phoenix market?
Okay. You're only in Phoenix or Phoenix, Tucson, other areas?
We're in Phoenix, and then there's a couple little pockets between Phoenix and Tucson that we are moving into.
Got it.
And then we have a sales guy.
So this is the guy who does when you have the contract and the contract's with title, he's the one that goes out and does disposition or sells the house. Got it. So he's working with buyers.
Right.
And so you and your husband aren't doing any sales or acquisition. You guys are just kind of evaluating the deal. If you want to keep the deal, wholesale the deal, pick the destination or the exit strategy for the deal.
Right. And there's times when we have to step in and it's a more challenging conversation that the VA isn't comfortable having.
Of course.
Or if we need a little bit more negotiation or a little more creativity or something that's outside of the box. But really there's 80% of the time he's the one that locks them up.
Right.
So most of your marketing is RVM, or that's all you're doing is RVM?
Pretty much. I mean, that's 90% of it.
Okay. And what kind of lists are you pulling? Like what kind of sellers are you going after?
It's so basic. I'm sorry. I laugh because it's so simple. And anybody watching this, if you're just getting started, one of the things that we always say, my husband and I always say, everything works and nothing doesn't.
Exactly.
So whatever you're watching on YouTube, whatever podcast you're listening to, whatever blog article or conference you're at, there's not one magic list.
There is not, no.
Because
definitely.
all of them work. All of them work.
With consistency, every list is a good list.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we specialize with absentee owners and landlords. That's like...
I mean, that's my bread and butter list is non-owner occupant high equity, right? And people will say, oh, this and this, but most of my deals come from that high equity landlord list. And you're going to have the guys there who are behind the taxes, pre-foreclosure. You're going to have all that in that basic list, right? So
so we do that. And we also love our more recent specialty for real estate is the property or the tax liens and tax deeds. So we've been acquiring properties that way as well.
Arizona has tax liens. Okay. All right. So you guys are just doing that in Arizona or in other states too?
No, we've bought tax deeded properties in Michigan.
Okay.
And tax liens in Arizona.
What part of Michigan?
Antrim County.
Oh, I do a lot of Michigan. I don't even know where that's at.
Okay, so it's super far north.
Is it UP? Is it UP North?
Okay, so
UP?
there's these words that I'm not sure, like UP, like Upper Peninsula,
Yes.
but I don't really know what it is.
My wife is from the UP. That's the part above the lakes. Do you think it's Canada?
It's like right next. It's next to that.
Atrium or Antrim?
Antrim,
okay.
Antrim, Bel Air.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so there's some golf courses, really nice golf courses. We bought them on the 18th hole, a couple lots on the 18th hole or 18th tee, like huge 2 acres or so.
And these were tax deeds in Michigan. And so how did you find, somebody brought this to you, or you guys were researching and you saw this and hey, this could be a good buy? What made you to jump into that?
America's #1 authority on tax liens and tax deeds is a man named Ted Thomas.
Okay.
This man is like boss. Like, he is amazing. And he's been doing tax liens and tax deeded properties and teaching it for like
ages.
Ever. And so we got linked up with him through one of REI Black Book's events a couple years back. Started learning from him. You know, just he gives his information away. Like, all of these things are just information is being given away, guys. And it's something you can do if you just trust the system and you just follow and take steps. And so that's what we did. And it's like,
how'd you pick Michigan?
Wow. Because Michigan has tax sales every year in August through about Labor Day.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can just go. And so we knew, so we knew, okay, here's the state that we can focus on. Here are the counties. Because we had access to Ted and his whole training group, it's like we could ask those questions and we could follow their guidance of where to start. The properties are so cheap there that you can start at like $500. I mean, these things are so inexpensive.
Yeah, I do most of my investments in Michigan.
Yeah.
You get very, very low prices. It's a cash flow market, but they're very good, sustainable markets too, where they're great buys. So is Ted Thomas from Michigan?
No.
Okay. I know I've heard that name before.
He's located in Orlando.
Interesting thing is, like a guy like that, who most people don't know about, never heard of. He's on the social media all over the place, right? But those are the guys that have so much knowledge because they were doing creative things since back in the 70s, 80s, when interest rates were 20%.
Right.
Like, those are the guys who can show you how to do seller financing to a T. That's all they could do back then.
Yeah.
You can. They're all out there. You have to just research that and find them.
Wait, I know you got to go back down because you're part of the speakers panel, but I want to, before you go, ask you this question because I use Infusionsoft as my CRM, and I, through plugins, hooked it up to work very similar to REI Black Book. And I'm sure you feel this way too. Sometimes you're so invested into a CRM, you've put so much money into it, you've built out such a monster platform that the idea of me changing is like, do you know how much I've done on my CRM already and how much money I've spent? But in the campaigns that we're starting and the teams that we're building out together, since it's new, he has his CRM platform. I have my CRM platform for our existing businesses, but we're saying, you know what? Let's start on a new platform.
Sure,
REI Black Book was one of the
two.
The two that we were looking at. I know it was like $1,000 to start and then a monthly fee or whatnot. Why'd you pick that one over the other ones?
So we started in 2011 with REI Black Book. We were new. I mean, we had been into the education space in the classes for 2 years, but we were brand new. We didn't understand that there were options out there, quite frankly. And I don't know if there were.
There might not have been. There probably wasn't that many back then.
Right. And so when we got exposed to REI Black Book, we saw the full breadth of what it could do back then. And that was a lot. And so one of the big pieces back then, besides the CRM, was for marketing your rental properties. And at the time, that's what we were doing, is rental properties. And so we thought, you know what, if we
marketing to tenants? Okay.
And so if we paid this money and used it for marketing the properties and it worked, then it would be worth every penny. And for us, it did. It allowed us to have zero vacancy. We are like zero vacancy people. So that's why we started using it. But then when I started transitioned into wholesaling full time, and you have all these ups and downs, and you don't know, you're Frankensteining all these different
it takes a lot to put it all together.
To get them together.
Yeah, for sure.
It gets really frustrating and costly. And then I looked and I was like, wait a second. And my husband actually said, you should be using REI Black Book. Like, go back into the system we already have. And I did, and I built it out. And you don't have to Frankenstein. It's $200 a month. You don't have to Frankenstein anything. You pay the $1,000 up front to get started. you pay us a couple grand, and I'm talking a couple grand. We're not talking 10,000, which I've heard on Infusionsoft and all these other ones to put it
I've
together.
Dropped over $15,000 to set my stuff up.
No, we will do it. We also do custom packages and things because not everybody's wholesaling. You guys are not doing it to wholesale or whatever. But like that's our specialty, is listening to what people need and building it for them and telling you straight up, like, this platform will do this, or no, that's not, it's not a lead. Like, it's not going to pull your leads. So some people get that confused. I
got a very simple question. One of the people that I work with is using REI Black Book. Actually, they had just told me, and that's why we started looking at it. And their landing page that I got promoted, they're not very tech savvy. So their landing page that they're using looks horrible. They probably built it. I imagine that can be customized and looked amazing, because the ones I use, I built on ClickFunnels. It cost a lot of money.
Yep.
It looks great. It looks legit, but it costs a lot of money.
Right.
When I was like, man, if I'm considering doing something else for another market on REI Black Book, my stuff needs to convert and look better than that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's fully customizable.
Okay.
So
when we get off, I'm gonna show you the page. You're gonna tell me if they can get better than that, because that turned me off a little bit. I was like, my stuff looks like that.
That was the main thing that we were looking at. Like, I don't know if we can use that for.
You know what's so interesting is, and this is for just all the marketing for real estate investors and people getting started, is like, sometimes the ugliest
works.
That's true.
It's better than what they were doing before, which was nothing.
Right.
So at the end of the day,
so what's your company? Tell them the company.
Our company is Blackbook Ninjas.
Okay, Blackbook Ninjas. I like that.
You can understand about our most basic or most common and basic package at blackbookninjas.com.
Okay.
You can find us online. Our Facebook profile is where I stay at. It's Recia Drew Davis.
Recia Davis.
Okay. And
there you go. CRM Ninja. You just had a baby not too long ago.
Yes, our third baby boy Cedric.
So it's possible to have the family, have kids, have a successful real estate business, invest in your future.
And you're in Phoenix, which is like the wholesale mecca of the world.
Oh my God.
I was out there, man. You're doing deals out there. And the funny thing is this, you're doing RVMs, right? I just left there, a big wholesaler I know out there stopped doing RVMs. He's just like, I can't do it anymore. So that shows you again how, like, just if you consistently do one thing or whatever you're doing consistently, it doesn't matter what it is, just do it.
You will
just
win.
Keep doing it.
You will win. The only way you won't is if you quit.
Awesome. You heard that.
Guys, you heard it here first. Share the episode. Reach out. You want your CRM set up? There's another option. You've heard a lot of people use CRMs. Here you have someone that can set it up for you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Hey, thank you once again for listening to Shut Up and Invest. If you guys are motivated at the thought of continuing your real estate journey with us, then visit shutupandinvest.com. There you can join our community and take advantage of more free resources. And don't forget, please like, comment, and subscribe to this podcast so you're first to hear our new content every week. Most importantly, get active and don't forget to shut up and invest.